Well, today is a snowy day in southern New Hampshire, and so I think I'm going to take the time to put a new battery in the CTS Coupe. Garage is pretty packed with cars right now. When we try, we can get 4 cars in here and get them out of the snow, so that's a nice bonus. But today, I'm going to do a battery on the Coupe. I've noticed it's starting to crank a little slow, and it's easy enough to do. Don't need to get under the car for any reason, so we'll go through how to change a battery on a Coupe. I did see a couple of videos online of how to do one of the sedans, but the Coupe is a little different because the access door to where the battery is much smaller on the Coupe. You can't just slide the battery out of it. So we'll take a look at that and change the battery. Okay, the battery is located in the trunk, just like on any other CTS. And we're gonna be putting in a Ever Start 760 cold cranking amp AGM battery. Some people might say, why don't you just put the GM battery in? Well, I've had good luck with these. These are Wal-Mart batteries, you know. I've got 3 of them in my RV, you know, and it's an American car with a very standard size battery. And the factory battery only has 660 cold cranking amps and is not AGM. So I'd rather do this job, you know, once and enjoy it for years without having to do it again. The battery is located behind this panel. There we go. That just pops off. So it's already been replaced. A Duralast is in there now, so that's probably an AutoZone battery. But we need to disconnect, obviously, the positive, the negative, and get the battery out of there. But there are mounting blocks here, and I think there's probably one down there in the corner as well. So this side panel has got to be removed, at least out of the way, and then we're probably going to have to pull this back a little bit too to get this panel out from behind it. So I'm going to get some tools and we'll get started on that. Okay, the only tools that you're going to need to take off this panel and this side panel are a regular pry tool and a 5/16 inch socket. That's for these right here. I'm going to pull back the trunk seal a little bit, remove this up here, which is one of the places that the net can attach. That just unscrews with your hands. There's no tools necessary for that. I'll get the pry tool, take these off. These aren't special clips or anything. These are just those plastic ones that you push through and they grab. Take off both of those. Now we'll remove the other net attachments. I'm going to do it on both sides and take this whole panel off because that'll make it a little bit easier. And on this panel, there are some retaining clips on the top. There's 4 of them that go across. There's nothing else here on the front. So you just want to get the pry tool in and under the top. Pop those up, and that'll come right out. And here's what those clips look like. And they just go straight down into the top of the crossbar here. Get that out of the way. And now, this side panel is nice and free and clear. You do have to pry it up over and under in a couple of places, but it's very flexible. You don't have to take it completely out of the car. You just push it towards the back like this. And now we've got full access to where the battery is. So next step, we're going to disconnect power and ground, and then we'll take off these battery brackets that are holding the battery down. We'll be right back. Okay, to get the battery out, we just need a couple more tools. I'm actually going to use the pry tool again, and I'll show you why in just a minute. We've got a 10mm. That's going to be to take off the negative terminal up here. And then I've got a 13mm, and that's what's going to take off the mounting brackets, whatever you want to call them, that's holding the battery down here and over here. So I'm going to do the bottom brackets first. Grab those. do the negative. That should be plenty. Get a little on that. There we go. Get that out of the way. On the positive, this just clips onto here and here. Protects the top part there. And actually on this one, we're not going to connect the cable from the bracket. There's a little lever right here that when you put it on, clamps the terminal on. Now obviously this is 12 volts, so when you're using a pry tool, you got to be careful you're not going to touch something metal and then touch the top post. You'll get a lesson in welding. So I'm going to pry right under here and lift up this lever, because to be honest, it's a little hard for me to do it by hand. And pull that towards the front like this. Now that takes tension off of that, and we'll pop it up and off. And we'll move that out of the way as well. So now the battery's free and clear. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up out of there, and we'll get the new one ready to go in. Okay, I forgot one minor detail. These batteries are vented to the outside. So you've got a vent hose that comes in over here, and it attaches to the side of the battery right here. So that's just a matter of pulling out this little plastic 90-degree fitting out of the vent hole on the side of the battery. And so the new battery will have that vent hole as well. All right, be right back. All right, here's the two batteries side by side. You can see they're pretty much the same dimensions. And here's the vent hole I was talking about. It's got the same thing on this one over here. And the one that came out of there was a AutoZone from October of 2021. And it definitely was not great. It definitely was cranking real slow for me in the cold weather. So I'm hopeful that this new one with higher cold cranking amps and being an AGM battery, and I don't know, it was much more expensive obviously. This was $179, but it's got a 4-year free replacement. So I think it's worth the extra money to just put it in there and not have to worry about it, at least for the next 4 years. I won't have to pay anything to replace it. Now, I'm going to take these caps off. Something I like to do, even on a new battery install, is use one of these battery tools. It's got like the metal wires inside, and just scuff up the posts. Make sure there isn't any residue or anything on those top posts. And we'll come over to the car side. Get some light back in here. And then on these terminals themselves, inside of here is another brush, you know, and you can put it in here and scuff up the inside as well on both the positive and the negative. I'm going to turn the camera off and do that, and that way you've got a nice clean contact on both ends. So we'll be right back. All right, those terminals are all clean, and now I've got the new battery down here in the compartment. You just want to remember to take your outside vent hose, hook that up by pressing it into the opening on the side, and then just be careful as you slide this back into place. Up over that. Make sure that that doesn't get all pinched. That way you've got a vent for the battery. Move this way. All right. Now that's approximately where it needs to go. So we'll take one of our mounting brackets and get that down in there. Not this one. It's going to go in this area. And yes, I just realized I put the other one upside down. I'll take care of that. Get that one started. pull the battery forward a little bit into it. Flip it around. There we go. Now, let's see. I'm going to zap both of those in. Be careful of that. Cramp that one down just a little and get to this one. This one. All right. Now that battery's nice and secure. That's not going anywhere. And we can go ahead and hook up the positive and negative terminals next. Again, being careful not to touch anything. Get that right down here. Get that seated. And now this lever, see this pin? That's got to go up and into this slot up here. And again, I'm not super strong enough to pick that up and over, so I'm going to use this. But again, now this is 12 volts, metal, don't touch. There we go. And get that up and in. Try to get it forward a little bit too. Looks like it was bent the last time this battery was done. There we go. So now that's locked into position there. And we just got to get the negative terminal up on here. Get that seated nice. And we'll get that one tightened up as well. There we go. That's not going anywhere now. Alrighty, so now the battery's in, hooked up. I've got power back to the car. I'll get this back on. I'll try to mount it better than the last person because it was definitely not on all the way. You can see this clip is supposed to go here. These are supposed to go here. So let's see if we can't get that in there a little bit better this time. There we go. All right. So that popped on normally. We've still got access to the positive terminal if we needed to jump start it. So, alrighty. I'm going to start reassembly on the trunk carpeting here on the side and get this plastic back on as well. We'll be right back. All right. The trunk's all back together. Panels are all back in, nice and tight. Seals are back in. So we're pretty much good to go back here. Have power. Let's jump in the car real quick here. Looks like we're good. We got no warning lights. Car starts right up. The auto windows still do their thing. I would say we are all good. We'll call that a done deal. So that's how you replace the battery on the CTS Coupe. Just a little different than the sedan, but certainly a do-it-yourself job with no unusual things that you need to do. So thanks for watching.